Greetings, I am Liz and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah.
Yes! We are back to Trixie and we are in a bar and we are trying not to die of social anxiety and welcome aboard.
Here we go. Oh, wow, I mean, if it isn't an issue, I guess. Not at all. I could use the company. Not much to do on the job, and the boss says if he catches me reading magazines at the wheel again, he'll fire me.
Wow.
Belle's phone buzzed. She took a look at it and sighed. Speaking of the great dictator... Oh, is your boss like Charlie Chaplin?
Oh, God.
Sorry, I gotta get going. I know the references out. So Charlie Chaplin did a movie called The Great Dictator, which was about Hitler. So,
but also just, your boss is a pain.
Yes. But also Charlie Chaplin was not made of sparkles.
I'm also like, okay, but good cow individual, good Belle. You just drank like 3 shots before going to work?
Yes.
Wow.
I gotta get going. Apparently the chief have escaped from Daffodil Lane. Probably that kid opening the gate because it looked sad being closed again.
Oh no.
She shook her head and down the rest of the drink. I suspected I knew who she was talking about. Oh, no. I'd better stick around. I have some stuff to do in town. Well, feel free to shoot me a message tomorrow morning if you're up for a really dull adventure. She chuckled and added her number to my phone.
Gently picks up your phone, puts her number in there.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Wow, everyone really wants to hang out with me. If this were a lame dating game, I assumed they wanted to get in my pants. Fortunately, I keep my life very PG. I wasn't sure how much I believed that, given recent events, but the slight hope of involving Nikita and her stupid play would escalate beyond comic mischief and some rude language was reassuring.
Knows what the game rating is. It's fine.
I don't play enough video games to get that joke, but sure.
Also, you said all this out loud, and I don't know what you're talking about.
I hadn't meant to say that out loud.
Yes.
Anyway, I'd better get going. See ya, round tricks.
Also, the level of, I'm aware that I'm narrating to myself in my head, and sometimes it just slips out.
She strolled off, as calm as ever. I finished my drink and sat around for a while, glad today had been full of distractions. I still wasn't ready to think about yesterday's events. Eventually, I knew it was time to head to Heidi's. I didn't want to be late. She apparently had a taser.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I was slacking my way to Heidi's shop. Drinking a pint of cola right before walking wasn't a great decision on my part.
Why?
Do you have to pee? I have to ask, what does that mean? Do you need to pee? Do you need to go to the toilet? Sorry, I'm late. I'm here now. Please don't tase me.
Trixie. I was about to call you. Good. Thank you for coming. I was worried you might be a deal breaker. Wouldn't want to be a deal breaker. And then I would have had to tase you.
I don't think that was a joke. Oh, why do you have a taser anyway? Is that even legal?
Probably. It's for self-defense, right? A good company on lonely nights. I will get my shocks off. Oh, okay. Fucking around. Enough fucking around. We have a lot of work to do.
I love how sometimes, your dyslexia just makes you say some of the most batshit crazy things for about 5 seconds. You're just like, okay, fucking around. What?
It skips words and everything. God, reading with me is an adventure. Actually, I've mentioned it one time before on the entire body of work of this channel, but there's this thing that I've occasionally done, when either blogging or social mediaing, where I just do adventures in dyslexia, and I will share what I have read in a public venue that was not actually there.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing sometimes.
A lot of work to do. She bundled me into her office. It was pretty small and completely cluttered with cardboard boxes.
I know the term bundled and it's just scooting someone into there, but it also swaddles you up and carries you in.
Actually, that's kind of what I was thinking, because Trixie's such a fucking mess. I have to collect you this way.
Yes. Okay, Trixie, you're going to help me with my side business spring cleaning. We're going to go through these boxes and sort the junk into these two other much bigger boxes. Sometimes it just skips words. Some of the worst part of it is it just running things together, so it just runs over stuff and skips words.
Right.
Skips letters too. This is the stuff to be burned box.
She kicked a generic wooden crate soaked in petrol. I chose not to question her health and safety practices and just tried to avoid breathing too much.
In my closed office in the back room of my shop, I have already soaked the crate in petrol. Good to go.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff that might actually be worth money box.
She tapped her sturdy metal safe. Okay, so what kind of stuff are we sorting through? Like extra stock or what?
Just like, old antiques and books. Nothing too important. Let's just get on with it, okay? I want to close on time.
She dropped a cardboard box full of junk onto the desk in front of me. I stated ruining. I'm sorry that I stated, even though it is started.
It's okay. Her brain falling apart. It's okay.
It's okay. I stated rooting around in it and found it was full of trash, mostly dusty books falling apart at the seams and broken old antiques. But the more I looked, the more it became clear that some of this stuff might actually be valuable. I pulled a golden bracelet out of the box and blew the dust off of it. Engraved onto it was a strange fish-like face with a single opal eye that seemed to stare at me. Jeez, how much money do you make selling this stuff? Heck, where do you even get this stuff from in the first place? This looks expensive. Heidi shot me an annoyed look.
Don't question it. Part of the job, okay?
So, a lot, and illegally, and got it. I chuckled to myself. Heidi seemed unamused. I carefully put the bracelet into the safe. As I sorted through the box, it became pretty clear that there was a theme to Heidi's stuff. It was all, in the same way, arcane. Old magic books, spooky scrolls, and even what seemed to be occult apparel like the bracelet I'd found earlier. Heidi, do you believe in any of this stuff? Monsters and magic, I mean. She looked at me for a moment, somewhat puzzled.
Honestly, your expressions, Heidi, are amazing. I love the little toothy grins in all facets. They're so much fun. Of course not. I've never seen any monsters or magic.
But, like, don't you ever get tempted to try out any of the spells in these books? I opened up one of the thick, dusty tomes and skimmed through it, looking for an example. Before I could read anything, Heidi slammed it shut on my fingers.
Ow.
Hey, ow!
Okay, new rule. You don't look at anything for any longer than it takes to work out if it's valuable. Got it?
I don't literally care. I nodded.
Also, this works for me. I've never had any creepy shit happen in my life, ever. Do not change that. No, I don't believe in this stuff, but, look, I'd like to keep it that way, okay? Like, I don't need anything to change in my belief system. I'm happy with where I am.
And also I acknowledge that on some level that means that things could happen, but I don't want them to.
Well, the thing is something could happen that might change my belief system, but I'm good where I am.
So full disclosure, that has actually been one of the reasons why in some cases I've never been super keen on where people are like, hi, I am a practicing, witch, and I do these sorts of things, and I'm like, that's really cool. I don't know whether or not I believe if any of this stuff is real or not, and that's not to diss on anybody at all, it's just going, but if it is a thing that causes a thing, I would rather stuff not to happen for the most part, because I don't know whether or not, like, it's under control, it's safe.
I don't need any more complications in my life.
Now, I would love it if it'd be like, here's a good thing. That would be awesome. But I also just, like, I just don't know. Keep it that way. Okay.
Okay. I've met people who like this crap, and it messes with their heads. This stuff is best left ignored, okay? Ignorance is bliss. And shiny white teeth.
She go back to work. See, but that's the thing, going like, if it does stuff, like, woo, then do stuff. Yes. I envied her lack of belief. I hoped with enough time my brain could fully convince me that what I saw the night before was just a heat, dehydration, and spore-fueled hallucination.
Yep.
Absolutely. But I think even then I knew the truth. Heidi seemed to know that we were only inches from madness and intended to never test that distance. Fair, actually. I respect characters in stories that do this. They're like, I don't fucking want to know. I just know what it is. I know what it looks like, and I don't want to know what it does.
I also love the characters that are like, yeah, I'm a delivery guy. I take things from place A to place B. What kind of things? I don't fucking know. I'm a delivery guy, not an inspector.
I don't do that shit.
Really well for me. And you know what? I've watched every other delivery guy get fired, killed, or turned over to something else. And you know what? I just deliver shit. That's all I do.
That's all I do.
That's my hits.
And I'm great at it. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm great at it.
I'm really good at it because I don't do anything else.
Right? We sorted through the boxes for a while. Most of the stuff was pretty uninteresting, but a few things caught my eye inside of it, because we're making a Jurassic Park reference, maybe. Some long-distant ancestor to a modern bee, perhaps? A manuscript detailing a ritual to summon rain, and at one point, a Dungeons and Fungeons rulebook with Heidi's name on it, which was quickly grabbed off of me and stuffed into Heidi's desk drawer. I was getting pretty bored. Some of the stuff looked really interesting, but I knew Heidi would snap at me if I tried to look into any of it. Fortunately, there was a sound outside. Someone had walked into the shop. Heidi slinked over to the peephole in her office door.
Trixie, you take care of this stuff. I'll go deal with this schmuck.
She walked through the shop. snapping at the customer for looking at something too strangely before the door closed behind her.
I really like that Trixie actually returned the crowbar and that whole plot was actually wrapped up.
I appreciate
And the
that.
favor was called in.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many times, like, it's little plot points like that make me really happy. Like, it doesn't have to be all the time, but that does make me happy. Also, I have just noticed that this looks like a knockoff on a Moomin and a Snufkin. To my brain.
Okay. Okay. I could see where you get that from. I have no idea what I think of that at all.
That's okay.
Because I wasn't really paying attention. I've been reading this whole time.
Oh yeah, no, I just saw it because I was busy talking, so I was able to look at the screen a little bit more. Anyway, I was very entertained. I'm just very happy that it's like, here's this thing, and then we're gonna set up, payoff, crowbar got returned. You don't have to think about that anymore. Off the mental load.
Right, I picked up one of the last items in the box, a small book titled Spiral Speeches of the Star Gods. Most of it seemed to be missing, but there were a few pages left. It sounded kind of interesting. I read it while Heidi was away. I put it in the trash box. Okay.
Honestly, Trixie sounds really curious about all this
I was
stuff.
about to say, there's
Trixie's
been a
like,
Trixie keeps going.
I appreciate that you're not curious about it and that my life's already complicated, but I really am curious about all this shit.
So I feel like the character at this point has been fighting too much to try to look at something. So this is a read it while Heidi is away.
Also, the distraction nature of I'm less focused on the tasks, so I flip through things.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens sort of accidentally as well.
It does. I decided to use this chance and flick through the remnants of the book. Spiral Speeches of the Star Gods. Across the world, hundreds of tablets etched with identical spirals have been uncovered by archaeological digs. Thanks to bird mythology, these are popularly known as Star God tablets. Though there has been much speculation around these strange artifacts, the most obvious origin is clearly the humble sheep. Famously, every sheep has a near-identical spiral on their right front hoof, a strange evolutionary quirk. These exactly match the spiral seen in the supposed Star God tablets. As the Star Gods are without a doubt entirely fictitious, the most obvious conclusion is that ancient societies would use sheep to produce this strange art. Most likely, these etchings were painted when originally created, but any evidence of this has long since faded with time. Of course, some old bird legends would suggest that the sheep created these themselves by pressing their feet into wet clay and allowing it to harden. This would make sense if not for sheep showing no signs of creativity needed to create such art, let alone the intelligence to produce clay tablets. Which actually, though, again, leaves me kind of curious because I'm just like, we have seen the wool and there are the feathers. I need to know what's going on.
There is a plot between sheep and birds going on here, and it is okay.
Yes. That said, also though, we've got to mention old bird legends and sheep. Bird and sheep. Yeah, they're getting paired together very interestingly. Yep. That said, anyone who has seen the footprints of a sheep can certainly agree that the process would be physically impossible for them, if unlikely. This may be merely a misinterpretation of the claim. It is entirely possible sheep were specifically trained to perform this task or had their hoofs used as tools after death. Other bird legends describe the supposed star gods themselves creating these texts, hence their relevance to the tablets, though such stories are the realm of fantasy.
I love the idea of just going, sheep have this thing, okay.
Cool.
Yep.
All right.
In world, that's it.
Right. The largest discovery of these relics were found in the Ash Islands of Oceania and would have fallen from the sky after being thrown into the air by a great Dark Age cataclysm. This would make their original location, the Siberian Wastes, the supposed home of the star gods. Nevertheless, this theory is ultimately the pages ended there. The book had seen better days.
Okay, so I also like this as an expositional thing. Okay, so a lot of times when we are critiquing games and or stories, there is a level of going, why did you do this thing this way? What's your world building here? This or that. And a lot of people, I think, work too hard and also not enough on their world building, where you can literally just say, in my world, it's like this. Sheep have spirals on one of their hooves. And not have to explain it in any way at all.
Right.
And also a level of going, please do at least say it so that it's not we're using the word wizard, but it clearly means something else here, but we're also never expositing exactly what it means like, and we're using it like you'd use it in the regular world.
Right.
So it's one of those things. Anyway, that's a fun piece of exposition. It works really well for me.
Yeah, it's really nice actually. The pages ended there. The book had seen better days. I thought of the strange spirals on the feet of the sheep. How had that come to happen? It seemed too strange to be natural. I thought of the sheep in the field where I'd come across the king in yellow, and the clumps of dirty wool in the abandoned cottage. I shuddered. Sheep were weird, but harmless? Something far more sinister was at play, surely. It had been an interesting read. I threw it into the trash box. It wasn't long before Heidi was back.
Sorry about that. Customers are a pain.
So I'm wondering partly if that actually means that Heidi's entire shop is more or less a front.
That's what I'm thinking. I think this really is Heidi's shop with all the randomness in it. And again, like, okay, so you also have a lot of indicators in here where there's a random assortment of shit in here. Like, these are just, like, these don't necessarily go together at all, but there's a lot of spider webs up in here of things that have never been touched or used at all. But, like, the tools and
dusty.
candy and plushies and, like, some types of, like, magazines or flats or books, like, it's, and then canned goods, really random. This even just looks like cake just set out, you know, like a cake box and sweets. And like, so it's, yeah, I would say at this point, the shop is just a front and customers are annoying because then you have to deal with them, you know?
Yes.
Yep.
Which is actually really interesting.
I like it. But also that's a great way to sort of softly exposit that, of just going, customers are a pain, I hate customers, I don't even want customers here, because that's not what this is about.
Right.
Ha! You finished. Nice one.
She looked genuinely pleased with me.
You know, I didn't do a bad job. Oh, you didn't do a bad job.
I know you didn't do a bad job. Wow. She seemed to think for a moment.
Trixie, how would you like to help me out again? For money, I mean. Your co-bar debt is paid.
Oh, wow. I've never had a job before, maybe. I wanted to help Heidi, if just to satisfy my curiosity about her strange inventory, but I also wanted to hang out with Greg or Belle. I wasn't sure if there was be time for that too.
I was gonna say, my whole brain going, you have to pick one of 3 options. You gotta do this.
So these are the 3 endings, I guess? Or I know it just says there's multiple endings.
I don't know how many endings there are or what this game is
I'm
even
guessing
about.
3, because that seems what most people do, is they tend to do 3 endings or so. Like, either you do 2 endings or you do 3.
I was say you do 2 or 3 or you have like 17.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh my god. I was sure there'd be time for that too. I agreed to help. I knew I'd have more fun with Greg or Belle. Oh god!
Oh, and they make it really clear that it is choosing either her or the other 2. And I'm like, we could totally help her sometime in the future and go with one of them tomorrow morning. But the game's saying, no, that's not an option.
Yeah, these are the routes, I think, is what's going on here. Oh god. And this one you have to go out of your way to agree to. Not just make a decision between Greg, Belle, or Heidi on the day of.
Right? And this isn't again, she didn't say tomorrow morning like both of them did. She said sometime. But again, the game making it really clear that if you help her, you don't get to hang out with either of them.
Oh, I don't actually know.
So for me, I'm going, well, you have money problems, but it doesn't seem like Trixie actually is concerned about her money problems.
I don't think so
it's
either.
Like, it's just one more stress. It doesn't really matter. It's not something you're trying to solve. It's just there.
I was actually going to say, for me, I'd honestly feel like, at least at this point in time, that more Trixie would be more interested in Greg or Belle.
I would just say, I feel like
Heidi has also terrified.
I was going to say, we're still scared of Heidi. I was about to say, I feel like we're still scared of Heidi, so it'd be a little bit of, yeah, we're okay, thanks. Even if you're not really preferring Greg or Belle, you're just going, you're still a little scary.
And she is kind of scary. So, as this client Heidi's off, I knew I'd have more fun with Greg or Belle. Oh, sorry, Heidi, I've got some other stuff going on right now. I've got to...
I need to deal with it. Hey, no sweat, Trixie. You don't have to explain yourself. Cuts you off before you can fully explain. I ain't exactly the most exciting job in the world. Right. I better start closing up. Thanks for your help. I'll see ya, Trixie.
I wish her good evening and started the walk back home to my bed. I definitely could use some sleep. I could definitely use some sleep. I know, I flipped myself.
Oh, we get to walk through all of it.
Yes, I was walking past Wilbur Hall on my way home to bed when I noticed Nikita fumbling with the vending machines. She was trying to pull a bar of toffee Malay out of its slot, but it seemed to be stuck. She gave the machine a frustrated kick and the snack fell out. As she picked it up, she noticed me watching her.
Whoa, you are
hello,
a mess.
Trixie?
Whoa, hang on, that's not your line. You're not Nikita.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
There you go. I was like, what happened, friend?
My apologies.
It's okay. Anyway, I know she looks like a mess, and she does.
I just thought that was me for a hot second.
It's okay. Hello, Trixie. I'm on my way back to my room. I have to finish reading the...
She seemed almost scared to say it. The King in Yellow.
Yes, the King in Yellow.
Nikita seemed skittish. Her usually tidy clothing was scruffy. Her fur unbrushed and her eyes flitted around the hallway frantically.
Yes, I picked all that up. Good job, Art.
Her constant fidgeting made her look eager to finish talking to me and get back to her room. It was like she'd just been for a spin in a tumble dryer full of caffeine.
Okay, that's an amazing visual.
Are you okay, Nikita? You're kind of a mess. Have you been reading all day or something?
Immediately pulls herself together a little bit. Yes, I have. All day, yes, last night too. Preliminary research. It has been, illuminating read thus far. I need to read a little more, but, Trixie?
She grabbed me by the shoulders, pulling me in close. I looked down at her scared eyes.
Trixie?
I knew all too much about the reputation of the King in Yellow. I didn't want to believe it could have done this to Nikita, but this wasn't right.
Trixie, I need you to make some notes. And, I need to double check. Read between the lines. But... No, never mind. We can discuss this later, when I'm set.
She let go of me.
I better get back to my room. There's... Good night, Trixie.
She did the sort of shaky, fast walk away from me towards the accommodation block. Bye, Nikita? I was scared. Could this really have been the work of that play? I shook my head. This had to be sleep deprivation. She'd barely slept in weeks with her campaign planning and coursework. I didn't like Nikita, but I was genuinely worried about her health. I figured that I'd let her finish reading and get some sleep. Then I could always make sure she was okay in the morning.
I love that you can just say, I don't like Nikita.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is such more of a committed statement that I am used to for people who are
I
really soft.
know.
Like, even in my own head, I have a hard time, and especially historically, admitting when I don't like someone.
Yes.
Like, it is just, because that's rude. You don't do that. You can't say that. Anyway,
You have to give everybody a chance, and you have to keep giving them chances over
I
and over
appreciate
and
that
over
she
again.
said it. So there.
I eventually got back to my room and collapsed into my bed. It had been a busy day. I was planning to muck about on my laptop until I got tired enough to sleep, but it was on my desk and I couldn't be bothered to get back out of bed. I remember the book about ghosts I'd gotten a hold of a few weeks back. It was probably still on the floor next to my bed. I remembered it being pretty tacky.
If I could reach it from bed, I'll read it. I love that.
That's such a mood. Peering over the edge, I could see it was. After my sighting in the basement, I thought it might be relevant. If I was going to stay awake a little longer, I might as well use my time productively. Before I could reach for the book, my phone buzzed. Tabby had sent me a message. That was unexpected. I don't speak to Tabby often, which is sad because I kind of wish we were friends, but I don't think she really notices me.
I was like, do we know who Tabby is?
I don't think we've ever met Tabby.
Okay.
Tabby's new. I used to think she was kind of weird, but after last week, I have to admit I'm taking her more seriously. I wasn't sure if I could handle a conversation with her right then, but I did think it would be kind of nice to talk to someone. I grabbed the book, messaged Tabby. I think it was more of going for a Tabby.
I was just say, it's also we're kind of just, I'm already holding and staring at my phone, and I am really tired and don't want to put in effort. Message Tabby.
Message Tabby.
Tabitha Knight. Hey, Trixie. Hang on. Hey, Trixie. One of my psycho crystals from the green spiral aligned one went missing. I was wondering if you've seen it anywhere?
Trizzy. Hey, sorry, Tabby, I haven't seen it. When did it go missing?
No worries. Someone today, I think?
Oh, no, I'll keep an eye out for it. Hey, Tabby, do you know the King in Yellow? Sorry, not to bug you. Just wondering if you're not busy, smiley face. Ha.
Oh, yes, the infamous haunted play. I know it. I can't say I've read it, though.
Oh, really? I haven't read it, I see. Oh, fantastic.
Read an infamous haunted play, not really. Why? You researching it or something? I heard it's generally a bad idea.
So...
not to discourage you, I bet it would be a great study for next year.
Oh, no, I'm not going to read it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't even exist anymore. I was just wondering if you knew much about it. You're a good student.
You're a good student. Honestly, the way they type is amazing. Like, you have so much, like, emotiveness to it, but also, like, a lot of punctuation. Good job. Well, I have to be, if I want to be student union president next year, right? I read a few books on it in our uni library. Maybe you could get them out? The notes of Grand Inquisitor Wilhelm were really good for obvious reasons. I love the really abbreviation. Anyway, I'm going to get some sleep. I'm going to Woolfest South tomorrow in town. Going to be super hot in my costume. Lol. Not in that way. Not in that way, you cheeky rat. Maybe you should come to WoolCon with me sometime. Somewhen, if you're into that. Aye.
Then maybe. I'll let you get some sleep. Thanks, Tabby. I'll look out for your crystal. Big Tabby is nice, but I really don't know if she likes me or not. I wasn't super keen on the idea of going to WoolCon. Dressing as a sheep and whiffing, or whatever they do at those cons didn't sound super appealing.
Is it like fursuiting and you're just whiffling? Yeah,
it's
you know.
whiffy. I'm like, is that...
Whiffing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Whiffing.
Fur piling.
Yeah, fur piling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Regardless, it was time to sleep. You can tell I've been on the internet. I had a surprisingly pleasant, if somewhat strange dream.
I need to tell you.
What?
The reason I know about the behaviors, if in fact they are genuinely researched correctly, of being in fursuits and doing gifting and fur piling, is because of an episode of CSI. they had a furry episode where a furry was murdered and they had to investigate it.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right for how they treat television. It's like the same thing that, remember...
So I don't know if you've investigated fursuit and furry culture accurately, but this is the way I've seen it represented for those two terms.
I see, and I've never seen it. I've actually just seen it online, so... yeah. Oh, I had a surprisingly pleasant, if somewhat strange dream. I was a clerk marrying Nikita to a giant toffee Malay bar, and then I married the entire cast of Cyber Drac Coolias from Mars. Parsnip was there, jumping up and down, throwing confetti. Let's not go into it. Regardless, it was a welcome break from the horrid dreams I'd had the night before. I woke up feeling a lot better.
One, weird dreams are go. Honestly, sometimes weird random dreams are just like, what was that even? But it's not bad.
Right.
And also going, you officiated so many weddings. Good job.
So many weddings.
So much gay weddings.
Good for you. It was pretty early in the morning, but I sent Nikita a message anyway. I didn't get a response, so I assumed she must have finally gone to sleep. I could check tonight if she was still MIA. And if she was still MIA, I could let security or the campus doctor know she was acting funny. That said, I knew she wouldn't do the same for me. I lazed around in bed for a while until I felt too gross to not shower any longer. Once I was eventually somewhat functional, I decided to work out what to do. I decided to go to Gregg's Bakery, messaged Belle, and asked if I could go to the North Acres with her.
You have to pick.
Oh my god, we do have to pick. I'm so sad. I want to see all of these, but I think we're only going to do one ending, and then we're going to encourage, obviously, everybody as before, please go play these. These are great, fun games.
Okay, so I'm kind of between, just knowing Trixie as I do, of going I'd be curious to go with Belle, but Belle's a little more intimidating than Gregg.
That's true.
And also, it doesn't feel like as much effort to go to Gregg because I could just walk over there and I don't have to get in a car and be stuck.
Yes.
So there's a level of being nervous about a captive environment of riding a car with someone, as opposed to if you're in a bakery, you can leave.
Yes, it's true.
Go ahead and put
No,
in yours.
that makes total sense. I was actually going to say I would want to, I think Gregg's is, the softest one.
Gregg is the most disarming, I believe.
Yeah.
And again, the level of I'm allowed to tap out if I'm overwhelmed.
Yes, pretty much, because Gregg cares.
Well, also because, again, you're not stuck in a car or somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely. Alright, so I decided to go to Gregg's Bakery. I remembered Gregg's invitation. That was nice, but I didn't think I could handle driving around in this heat.
That too.
Besides, I really wanted to learn to make cakes. Or more accurately, I wanted to eat them.
I wanted to learn to eat cakes.
If
I make cakes, I can eat
better.
Cakes. Yeah.
Hell yeah. With last night's encounter with Nikita all but forgotten, I made myself somewhat presentable and headed to town.
Somewhat presentable. Slightly. I love how they do these traveling scenes. They're really charming.
They're really
nothing happens necessarily, but it's you walking there.
Hi, Gregg. I hope I'm not too late to make cakes with you.
I also think it's really, really cute. The one that you have that traveling, but also in the same way that they have pauses in conversation where a character will just emote but not speak. There's something extremely pleasant about how real that is.
Oh, yeah.
Because people do. They just pause. Because you do just travel and you don't say or do anything and nothing happens, you know?
Right.
These kinds of things. It makes it feel very, very like real people.
Oh, it's also just very charming.
Yeah.
It gives it a very interesting atmosphere too, especially tonally. I know a lot of times, people have critiqued, especially I would say, quote, Western media, in going that everything has to basically be doing something. You have to be doing something. It's like, so why wouldn't you, of course, cut out all that walking time, as it were? You know, why wouldn't you shorthand it? You know, why wouldn't you do something else? But like Japanese media, as an example, like with Studio Ghibli, they popularized a lot of the quiet moments of people going, you just have people eating, you just have people talking. It doesn't have to all go towards the plot.
It's actually Disney actually had a really strong exposure to it when they first started licensing the Studio Ghibli films, going, why are these frames of animation here? Why is this scene here? Why do we see her tap her shoe on before she runs away again? And it's like they weren't familiar with, if it doesn't serve the story, you know, you can still have it in there, and that it does actually serve character development where it doesn't serve plot.
Plot motivated stories.
And the thing is there's a very plot motivated focus in a lot of American storytelling, and it is the sort of level of going, I want to tie in and wrap up and include absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And it all has a purpose. And I'm gonna say, the gum I stepped in last week does not have a purpose, and it doesn't, contribute to the story. It just happens.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Oh, not at all. I was just about to start. I'm glad you decided to come. You better wash your hands, so we can get baking.
Yay! I ended up just trying and failing to follow Gregg's baking instructions. Accidentally baking a whisk into one of the cakes was one of the least disastrous moments.
Oh dear.
Once the cupcakes came out of the oven, we got the chance to talk properly.
Okay, Trixie, time to ice our cakes. Let's get creative.
Let's get creative.
Oh god. Green is not a creative colour.
Green is not a creative colour. I looked at my vaguely cake-shaped blobs of carbon. Adding icing to these would be like sticking plasters on someone hit by a howitzer shell.
Yes.
I don't know how you do this every day. I'm tired already. Although, to be fair, tired is pretty much my default state of being.
Gender is tired.
Today's
gender of the day is tired. It is pretty tiring, especially since I'm open pretty much every day. I might not need to work as hard as soon, though. Maybe I can take a break and enjoy the sun. I need to get to the beach.
Are you getting, like, a machine to make stuff for you, or what? Greg was suspiciously silent for a moment. I could see their eyes in thought.
Kinda. I was hoping that you would get good at it and then, you could bake sometimes.
I wonder. I could tell they didn't want to talk about it, so I tried to change the subject. It's kind of nice getting outside in the sun. I used to have to stay inside a lot, especially during the summer, since I can't really handle the sun with my lack of melanin. I got some of that new UV protective sun shampoo for it, though, this year, so I've actually been able to get outside. I'm still a little worried I might end up sunburnt, though.
I miss the heat. Hopefully I can spend some time outside before this heat wave ends.
You used to visit?
Oh, I moved here when I was pretty young. Me and my parents used to live in Oceania. I still remember playing in the summers there. They were even hotter than it is here today.
Oh, wow. I hadn't realised. That's cool. I've wanted to visit Oceania for ages, but I don't think I could handle the heat there in the winter, let alone the summers. And you know what? We're going to handle this in the other summer because we are out of time!
Woo!
Hey, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. It is fantastic having you here with us, and we love having your support. If you feel like you can, please feel free to interact with our videos by liking, commenting, or subscribing. That would be awesome. It actually helps us out with YouTube's algorithm. But if not, no pressure. We just love having you here.
Yep.
Also, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon and our Twitch and our Twitter and our, we have links down below. Please explore them. We would love to see you there.
Yep.
And I have been Scandal.
And thanks again to our two patrons, Delta Whiskey and Paul. We appreciate you greatly. And I have been Laz.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!